Welcome to the 1 Hour Guide by Anil Nathu.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're diving deep into a topic that's just absolutely critical for anyone looking to build, grow, or simply navigate the business world today.
Yeah, it's strategic thinking.
Exactly. And our guide for this journey is none other than Michael D. Watkins. He's a really renowned leadership scholar, professor at IMD Business School.
You probably know him from his huge bestseller, The First 90 Days.
Right. The Economist called it the onboarding Bible. I mean, his insights have really shaped management thinking for decades.
And today we're pulling directly from his framework in the 6 disciplines of strategic thinking, a comprehensive guide for entrepreneurs, 1-hour guide. It's a fantastic distillation.
So let's unpack that. What is strategic thinking, according to Watkins?
He defines it as the set of mental disciplines leaders use to recognize potential threats and opportunities, establish priorities to focus attention, and mobilize themselves and their organizations to envision and enact promising paths forward.
Okay, so it's more than just planning meetings and spreadsheets, right?
Oh, much more. It goes way beyond traditional planning or analysis. Those are important, sure, but this is fundamentally about looking beyond the immediate present, you know?
Thinking ahead.
Thinking ahead, engaging in critical and creative thought about all the potential futures that could unfold. It allows you to proactively shape your destiny rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way.
So it's really understanding the why and the where, not just the what.
Precisely. Deeply understanding why you're doing something and where you're ultimately headed.
So what does this mean for you listening? Whether you're leading a startup, dreaming of one, or just aiming for bigger impact?
Well, the good news is this isn't some exclusive trait for CEOs. Watkins gives us a really practical way to think about developing it.
Yeah, he has this equation, right? The STC equation.
That's it. Strategic thinking capacity, STC, equals endowment plus experience plus exercise.
Endowment, experience, exercise.
Okay, so yeah, some people might have a natural aptitude, a bit of an endowment.
Sure, some people just seem to get it.
Right. But the key is, it's not fixed. Strategic thinking is absolutely a skill. Anyone, really, can significantly improve through deliberate practice, gaining diverse experiences, and just consistently exercising these mental muscles.
So it's like going to the gym for your brain.
Exactly. It's a trainable muscle, a capability you can actively cultivate. And Watkins makes it manageable by organizing his 6 disciplines into 2 groups.
Okay, what are those groups?
The first 3 focus on recognition and prioritization. Basically, spotting the important stuff, the challenges and opportunities popping up all around you.
Makes sense. You got to see it first.
Then, the other 3 disciplines enhance your ability to actually mobilize your organization to respond effectively, turning that insight into action.
Recognition and prioritization, then mobilization. Got it.
Yeah, 2 sides of the same strategic coin.
And our mission here, for you listening, is to really unpack each of these 6 disciplines. We'll dive into detail, give you some solid examples, and offer practical, actionable guidance.
So you can start developing these crucial skills right away.
Whether you're steering a startup, thinking about a new venture, or just want to sharpen your decision-making, these insights from the 6 disciplines of strategic thinking, a comprehensive guide for entrepreneurs, 1-hour guide, are incredibly valuable.
Definitely. Let's jump in. #1. Recognition and prioritization disciplines.
Okay, we know what strategic thinking is and that we can build it like a muscle, but where do you actually start? How do you spot those first glimmers of opportunity or hints of danger?
Watkins points us straight to the foundation, the bedrock of it all. Pattern recognition. This is the first discipline in that recognition and prioritization group.
Pattern recognition. Sounds simple, but I suspect it's deeper than it sounds.
That's how it really is. Watkins highlights that it's much more than just, passively absorbing information. It's about developing this really acute ability to sift through the sheer volume of data and noise out there.
Finding the important bits.
Finding the truly significant trends and, maybe even more importantly, the subtle signals in really complex environments. He uses the analogy of a chess grandmaster.
Ah, I like that.
They don't just see individual pieces moving around, do they?
No, they see the whole board, the flow, the potential traps.
Exactly. They perceive entire configurations, they anticipate moves, they spot opportunities and vulnerabilities that someone like me would completely miss. They recognize these deep patterns of play almost instinctively.
So it's about finding the signal in the noise.
That's the perfect phrase for it. And in today's noisy, competitive markets, that ability is a massive differentiator.
And it's not like you spot one pattern and you're done, right? Watkins emphasizes it's ongoing.
Absolutely. It's part of this dynamic continuous loop he calls the recognize, prioritize, mobilize cycle, or RPM.
RPM. Go.
First, you recognize these critical patterns, or maybe just subtle shifts in your business environment. Could be a change in customer behavior, a new tech popping up, or a competitor making a quiet little move.
Then you prioritize.
Right. Which of these signals actually matter most? Which have the biggest potential impact, positive or negative? Which are most urgent? You can't chase everything.
And finally, mobilize.
Mobilize. You gather your resources, you plan your actions, and you respond effectively to what you've identified and prioritized. And the cycle, recognize, prioritize, mobilize, it's constantly turning.
It has to be.
It's essential for any organization, especially a lean startup, to stay ahead, not just afloat. It's how you turn just seeing something into a real competitive advantage.
Okay, this brings up a big question today. What about AI? Can't machines just do all this pattern spotting for us now?
That's a really great point, and yeah, it comes up a lot. AI can definitely enhance pattern recognition massively in some ways.
How so?
Well, it can process enormous data sets, spot correlations, find anomalies that a human eye would just skim over, think market trends, statistical outliers, shifts in user behavior data.
Right, crunching the numbers.
Exactly. But human insight is still completely irreplaceable. AI might tell you what happened, like, hey, user engagement dropped 5% after this feature launch.
Okay, useful.
Very useful. But interpreting the why behind that pattern, especially in complex, ambiguous situations, understanding the context, deciding the best strategic response, that still needs human judgment, intuition, maybe even empathy.
So the AI spots the what's, the human figures out the why and what next.
Precisely. Was it the feature itself, the way we communicated it? Did a competitor launch something simultaneously? AI might struggle with that kind of nuance. The strategic interpretation response, that's still very much our job.
Okay, so we still need to sharpen this skill ourselves. How do we actually do that, especially in a startup? It feels a bit abstract.
It can feel that way, but Watkins gives some excellent practical guidance. First off, stay curious and actively engaged.
What does that look like day to day?
It means making it a habit. Read industry blogs, subscribe to niche newsletters, hang out in relevant online forums. But don't just consume passively.
Actively look for things.
Actively look for and log the anomalies. The weird customer feedback that doesn't fit, the competitor move that seems illogical, the news headline that contradicts what everyone else is saying.
The outliers.
Yes. Often the biggest shifts start as these small, surprising deviations, not the obvious trends everyone's already talking about.
That's interesting. Log the weird stuff.
Try this. Schedule one 15-minute call a week with a real customer. Not a sales call, just a, hey, what's on your mind, what's working, what's frustrating call.
Just listen.
Just listen. And keep a simple log, a notebook, a doc, whatever. Over time, those seemingly random data points, they start connecting. You'll see patterns others miss.
I like that. What else?
Another really powerful, simple thing, share weekly insights with your team.
How would that work?
Dedicate maybe 5-10 minutes in your regular team meeting, or start a specific Slack channel called, like #pattern spotting. Each week, one person shares one interesting observation.
Just one.
Just one. Could be a customer comment, a competitor's tiny update, a relevant news bit. The goal isn't instant analysis, just sharing awareness.
Building collective radar.
Exactly. It's like crowdsourcing your pattern recognition. Over time, the whole team becomes more attuned to those weak signals. It builds a culture of observation.
Okay, practical. And for efficiency, alerts and feeds.
Oh, definitely. Set up alerts and feeds. Tools like Google Alerts, RSS readers, curated Twitter lists, they're your friends.
What should you track?
Track keywords for your industry, your specific niche, emerging technologies, maybe regulatory changes, and definitely your key competitors' names.
So you catch things instantly.
Pretty much. Set an alert for competitor X, and boom, you know the minute they announce that new funding round or product launch. It gives you that crucial lead time to think and react.
Makes sense. And we shouldn't forget our own internal data, right?
Absolutely not. Track your internal data and feedback religiously. Your own metrics and customer interactions are gold mines.
What kind of metrics?
The key ones for your business. User signups, conversion rates, feature usage, churn, support ticket volume. Keep it simple, maybe a dashboard or even just a weekly spreadsheet.
And look for jumps or drops.
Exactly. If something suddenly spikes or plummets traffic from a weird source, engagement dropping after an update, investigate. Don't just note it and move on. Dig in.
And customer feedback channels.
Monitor support tickets, app reviews, social media mentions closely. If you see recurring issues, say multiple people stumbling on the same part of your onboarding, that's not just an individual complaint. It's a pattern pointing to a deeper problem.
Got it. Look inside as much as outside. What about learning from others' patterns?
That's where learning from case studies comes in. Make it a habit to study the stories of other companies, especially startups.
Successes and failures.
Both. How did early players in your space adapt to X or Y? How did that company pivot successfully? Or why did that promising startup fail? Think about Slack pivoting from gaming or Netflix moving from DVDs to streaming.
Learning from history.
Exactly. These are historical patterns you can learn from and apply by analogy to your own challenges. It trains your brain to see how different forces create outcomes.
And I've heard about actually playing games to train this part of the brain.
Yeah, play pattern games, not just video games, but cognitive exercises.
Like what?
Try this. Physically lay out recent notes, customer feedback snippets, news clippings, internal data points, maybe on a whiteboard or using sticky notes. Put them on a timeline or a mind map. Then actively look for connections.
Connecting the dots visually.
Right. You might see that a competitor's price drop preceded a dip in your signups 3 weeks later. Or try this. Pick a random tech news story, something totally unrelated, and brainstorm 3 ways it might potentially impact your business down the line.
Forces creative connections.
It really does. It stretches your thinking beyond the obvious.
So it's all about actively linking things over time.
Precisely. Connect the dots over time. Don't just collect data points. Link them across weeks, months. Use that timeline or Trello board. If competitor A launched feature X in January and you saw a drop in engagement for your similar feature in March, those are likely connected. That longitudinal view is key.
And finally, we all have blind spots. How do we counter those?
You absolutely have to seek diverse perspectives. Talk about your observations, your hunches, those weak signals you're noticing.
With who?
Mentors, advisors, peers, even people in totally different industries. Fresh eyes see things you miss. They might interpret a pattern completely differently.
An outside view can unlock something.
Often, yeah. They might say, hey, that thing you mentioned, it sounds like part of this bigger trend you haven't considered. It broadens your view dramatically.
So consistently doing these things, staying curious, sharing insights, tracking data, learning from others, playing games, connecting dots, seeking feedback, that's how you build the muscle.
Exactly. It becomes more intuitive. You start spotting those weak signals that foreshadow big shifts. You catch trends before they're obvious.
And that early awareness.
It's a huge edge for a startup. Imagine seeing a subtle change in how your target audience communicates online and building something for that before anyone else even notices. That foresight, that comes from diligent pattern recognition.
Okay, so you spotted a pattern, a signal in the noise. What's the next step in strategic thinking?
The next crucial discipline is systems analysis. Now that you've recognized something, you need to understand how it fits into the bigger picture of your startup.
Seeing it as a whole system, not just isolated parts.
Exactly. It's about building mental models to understand how complex environments work, viewing your business, your startup, as this interconnected system, almost like a living organism.
Not just siloed departments or tasks.
Right. This holistic view gives you huge insights into your internal dynamics, how marketing affects sales, affects support, affects product, and also how external forces ripple through. Market shifts, new regulations, competitor moves. How do they impact the whole thing?
Watkins has an analogy for this too, doesn't he?
He does, the climate model analogy. Climate models are simplifications, right? They can't capture every single variable on Earth.
No way.
But they capture the essential features, the key interactions, well enough to make pretty good predictions. A strategic leader does the same with their business system. You focus on the critical elements and connections, knowing it's a model, not perfect reality, but it gives you clarity and predictive power.
So what are the key things we need to grasp when doing systems analysis?
At its core, it's about understanding action and reaction. You pull lever A over here. What happens not just immediately, but downstream, maybe 2 or 3 steps away?
Ripple effects.
The ripple effects. And identifying feedback loops. Those cycles where an output from one part feeds back as an input to another, sometimes amplifying an effect, sometimes dampening it.
Like a snowball effect, positive or negative.
Exactly. And spotting tipping points, those thresholds where a small change suddenly triggers a massive shift. Plus, really understanding cause-effect relationships throughout the system.
How does this help avoid problems?
Well, imagine you decide on a huge marketing push for rapid growth. Systems thinking immediately makes you ask, okay, wait, can support handle way more tickets? Is our server infrastructure ready? Will onboarding break? What about the sales team if leads triple overnight?
Thinking through the consequences before you act.
Precisely. It lets you plan and adjust proactively instead of having your successful marketing campaign accidentally crash your servers or overwhelm your support team. It prevents success from becoming a failure.
That sounds critical, especially for resource-strapped startups. So how do we build this skill? How do we map our system practically?
Watkins offers great practical steps. First, map your key components. And a fantastic way to start is simply to draw a flow diagram.
Of what?
Pick a core process. Maybe your new user onboarding flow or how a support ticket gets resolved, or your sales funnel. Sketch it out step by step, every phase, every decision point, every handover.
What does that reveal?
It can immediately show you where users are dropping off, where there are extra unnecessary steps, or where communication just breaks down. You might visually see, no wonder we don't send a follow-up email here. It makes vague problems concrete.
A diagnostic blueprint. I like that.
It is. Then zoom out a bit and identify the key components of your whole startup.
Like departments.
Sort of. Think overall strategy, team structure, core processes, product dev, sales, marketing, resources, cash, people, key metrics, even company culture. List them out. Then draw arrows showing how they influence each other.
Okay.
If your strategy shifts to prioritize, say, rapid experimentation over perfect polish, does your decision-making process actually allow for quick moves? Or is it bogged down in bureaucracy? If it is, you've found a systemic bottleneck preventing your strategy from working.
And the business model canvas helps here too, right? For that high-level view.
Absolutely. Use a business model canvas. It's brilliant. One page, mapping partners, activities, resources, value props, customers, channels, costs, revenue.
It forces you to see the connections.
It really does. If you think about adding a new revenue stream, the canvas immediately flags, okay, what new partners do we need? What new activities? What resources? It ensures you don't think about changes in isolation. It's a quick systemic check.
And this helps spot those chain reactions and loops you mentioned.
Definitely. The next step is to explicitly map dependencies and feedback loops. Chart your main inputs, hires, funding, leads, and outputs. Users, revenue features. Draw arrows showing cause and effect. More marketing spend, more site visitors, more signups.
But look for the cycles.
Yes. Crucially, look for the loops. Positive loops. Happy customers refer friends. More users, more happy customers. Find ways to amplify those. Negative loops. Recurring bug complaints. Negative reviews. Churn. Identify those and figure out how to break them.
Makes sense. And clarity on who does what is part of the system.
Hugely important. Clarify roles and responsibilities. Sketch out who owns what. Sales, dev, marketing, support, finance. Clear ownership prevents confusion, bottlenecks, dropped balls.
Avoids things falling through the cracks.
Exactly. If it's unclear who handles after-hours support, guess what? It doesn't get handled well. If two people think they own the same marketing channel, you get chaos or duplicated effort. A simple chart or SEI matrix keeps the machine oiled.
And culture. How does that fit into the system?
It's vital. Do a culture and incentives check. List your core values, innovation, customer first, speed, whatever they are. Then honestly ask, how are we actually rewarding these?
Does reality match the poster on the wall?
Right. If innovation is a value, do you praise experiments even if they fail? Or do you punish failure? If customer first is key, do you celebrate going the extra mile, even if it hits short-term metrics? Misaligned incentives break the system by rewarding behavior that contradicts your values.
That's a subtle but powerful point. What about things outside the company?
You need value chain thinking. Extend your map beyond your four walls. Who are your critical suppliers? Technology partners, platforms you rely on like app stores, payment processors.
And think about what happens if they fail.
Precisely. What if AWS has an outage? What if Google changes its algorithm? What if your key API provider goes down? Mapping these external dependencies makes your system much more robust.
Okay, that's a thorough mapping process, but how do we make the system adaptive, resilient?
That's the next piece. First, conduct a fire drill.
Like a practice crisis.
Exactly. Pretend your main server just went down. Walk through your emergency plan step by step with the team. You'll immediately find the holes. Who calls the backup provider? Who communicates with customers? Doing this before a real crisis is invaluable.
Preparation, not panic.
Right. Then institute regular system reviews, weekly or monthly cross-team check-ins. Product, marketing, support, finance, share updates, hiccups, wins. A small problem in marketing might be an early signal for support, or vice versa. It keeps everyone aware of the whole system's health.
And plan B, C, D.
Plan for contingencies. Use your system map. Where could things break? Key supplier fails. Key person leaves. Server goes down. Have backups, ready alternative vendors, cross-train staff, data backups. Proactive planning reduces vulnerability.
It sounds like it's about constant learning, not being perfect up front.
Absolutely. That's why you need to learn and iterate. After any big change, a launch, a campaign, a hiring spree, do a quick retrospective. What worked? What broke? Where was the friction? This continuous feedback loop helps you fix weak spots early and improve constantly. Build that learning culture.
And fix the root cause, not just the symptom.
Yes, prevent issues. If the same problem keeps popping up, it's a systemic flaw. If support tickets always spike after a feature release, don't just hire more support agents. Fix the process. Add better docs before launch. Pre-train the team. Improve the feature's usability. Adjust the system to prevent the fire. Don't just get better at fighting it.
Wow. So viewing your startup as this whole system, it really lets you catch problems early, build stability, understand those ripple effects.
And anticipate crises before they happen. If you know doubling marketing spend will strain support, you hire before the campaign launches. You upgrade servers before traffic spikes.
It turns reactive firefighting into proactive management.
That's the goal. You prepare ahead instead of scrambling. It's transformative for how you run the business.
All right, we've covered pattern recognition, spotting the signals, and systems analysis, understanding the connections. What's the third discipline in this recognition and prioritization group?
This one is all about speed, flexibility, and adaptability. Mental agility.
Thinking on your feet.
Exactly. It's the ability to rapidly absorb new information, shift your perspective, look at things from different angles, and adapt your strategies quickly in complex, uncertain situations.
Which is basically every day in a startup.
Pretty much. Watkins calls it gymnastics for your brain. It helps you stay nimble when things are constantly changing.
Okay, brain gymnastics. What does that actually involve?
He breaks it down into two key capabilities. The first is level shifting. He also calls it cloud-to-ground thinking.
Cloud to ground.
Yeah, it's the ability to fluidly move between the big picture, high-level strategic view, the cloud, the grand vision, long-term trends, and the detailed operational on-the-ground realities, the ground, the daily tasks, implementation details, immediate problems.
So zooming in and out effectively.
Seamlessly. Great strategic thinkers do this constantly. They can talk vision 1 minute and dive into the conversion rate on a specific landing page the next. They know when to be high level and when to get into the weeds.
That's a tough balance. Easy to get stuck at one level or the other.
Very easy. The second capability is game playing.
Not literally playing games.
Not necessarily, though that can help. It's about understanding situations involving multiple actors, competitors, partners, key employees, even different teams within your company who might have different, sometimes conflicting interests.
Yeah, anticipating their moves.
Anticipating their actions and reactions, almost running mental simulations. If we do X, how will competitor Y likely respond? How will our investors react? What will our key engineers think? It's understanding the incentive structures driving others.
Thinking several steps ahead, like chess.
Exactly. Designing your moves with an eye on the likely counter moves and being ready to adjust based on how things actually play out.
I remember launches where my brain just felt frozen by the chaos. You wish you'd done more of this brain gymnastics beforehand. So how do we flex these muscles? What's the practical guidance?
That's a common feeling. That's why this is so vital. A really powerful exercise is scenario planning.
Planning for different futures.
Right. Don't just plan for your ideal outcome. Map out several plausible futures. Best case, worst case, maybe a surprising sideways move. Consider key uncertainties, market adoption, funding, competitor actions.
And then plan responses for each.
Yes. If users double overnight, what's the plan for hiring, servers, support? If funding dries up, what's the immediate cost-cutting plan? It doesn't predict the future, but it prepares you to pivot fast and confidently when reality inevitably deviates from plan A.
Proactive, not just reactive. I like it.
Another great one, role-playing and debates. In team discussions, actively assign someone to play devil's advocate.
Argue the other side.
Forcefully. Or have people swap roles. Let the marketer argue from the engineer's perspective on a feature, and vice versa. Debating from different angles exposes hidden assumptions, trains minds to see multiple viewpoints, and builds cross-functional empathy. It breaks down siloed thinking.
What about backcasting? That sounds intriguing, working backward from success.
It's a fantastic technique. Instead of just planning forward from today, what's next, you start from a future goal. Imagine it's 5 years out, you've hit your huge vision. Celebrate. Then work backward. What major milestones had to happen each year to get there? What resources were needed? What decisions were critical?
What does that reveal?
Often it highlights critical dependencies, intermediate steps, or potential roadblocks you might totally miss just looking forward. It helps you reverse engineer your path to success.
Cool. And actual games can help too.
Yes, play strategy games. Things like chess, Go, complex board games like Catan, even participating in hackathons with weird constraints.
How they help.
They actively train your brain to plan ahead, anticipate moves, think probabilistically, and adapt on the fly when things don't go as planned. It builds foresight and comfort with complexity in a low-stakes way.
We all operate on assumptions, often unconsciously. How do we tackle those?
That's a huge trap. You need to challenge assumptions regularly. Maybe set up a recurring assumption review. Pick one core belief your startup operates on. Our users will always pay $6 for this. Or our main competitor will stick to their current market. Then actively try to disprove it. Run a survey, build a quick prototype to test pricing, brainstorm hard why that assumption might be totally wrong. It keeps your thinking fresh.
Prevents complacency and learning from totally different fields.
Absolutely. Learn from other domains. Study strategy in the military, sports, biology, history. Anywhere complex systems and competition exist.
How does that help a tech startup?
Understanding how generals plan supply lines might spark ideas for your resource allocation. How athletes prepare for peak performance might inform your team's resilient strategies. These analogies offer fresh angles on familiar problems.
Expand the toolkit. And finally, sort of cross-training the brain.
Yeah, cross-train your brain. Get outside your comfort zone. Read about unrelated industries. Learn a basic skill from another department. Maybe spend a day shadowing someone.
Like a developer doing support calls.
Exactly. That builds empathy, reveals user pain points data might miss, and just makes your thinking more flexible. These diverse experiences forge new neural pathways.
So the more you stretch these mental muscles, level shifting, game playing, scenario planning, challenging assumptions, the less likely you are to get stuck when surprises hit.
You react faster, more creatively, more confidently. You start turning uncertainty from a threat into an opportunity. You pivot gracefully instead of crashing. That's mental agility. #2 mobilization disciplines.
Okay, we've really dug into recognizing and prioritizing spotting patterns with pattern recognition, understanding the whole picture with systems analysis, and staying nimble with mental agility. Now let's shift gears to the second group, the mobilization disciplines.
Right. This is all about turning those insights and priorities into effective action. Seeing isn't enough. You have to do.
And the first one here is structured problem solving.
Yeah, spotting opportunities or mapping systems won't help much if you can't actually fix the problems that inevitably crop up.
Or if you fix them really inefficiently.
Exactly. Structured problem solving is a methodical, disciplined way to tackle significant challenges. You break them down into distinct, manageable steps.
Why is structure so important here, especially for startups?
Because time and resources are always scarce. A methodical approach ensures you're solving the right problems, not just the loudest ones, and doing it quickly and efficiently. It stops you from chasing symptoms, wasting effort, or just getting paralyzed by complexity.
It's the bridge from uh-oh problem to, okay, here's the plan.
Precisely. It brings clarity and focus to chaos.
So what does this structure look like? What are the key phases Watkins outlines?
There are 5 main phases. First, defining roles and communicating the process.
Before you even touch the problem itself.
Yes. Who needs to be involved? Who's affected by the problem? Who will implement the solution? Get the right stakeholders in the room, virtually or physically. And crucially, make sure everyone understands how you're going to tackle it. What's the process? Who's leading? What's the timeline? It sets expectations and builds alignment from the start.
Okay, get the team aligned first.
Yeah.
Then
Phase 2. Framing the problem accurately.
defining what it actually is.
Clearly, concisely, specifically, not just sales are down, but maybe. Our mobile sign-up conversion rate dropped 30% last month, specifically among North American users under 25, threatening our quarterly revenue target.
It's much clearer.
And then you define success. We need to get that rate back up to X% within 2 weeks. This sharp focus prevents misunderstandings and makes it obvious when you've actually solved it.
Okay, problem framed. Now, solutions.
Phase 3. Exploring potential solutions. This is brainstorming time. Quantity over quality, initially.
Get all the ideas out there.
Encourage wild ideas. If mobile signups are low, maybe it's Simplify the form, add a tutorial, change the button color, improve page speed, add testimonials, offer a discount. List everything without judgment. Create that safe space for ideas.
Then you have to pick one, or maybe a few. That sounds hard.
That's phase 4, deciding on the best option. Now you get critical. Look at your brainstorms list. Which ideas are most promising?
How do you evaluate them?
Weigh the pros and cons. What's the likely impact? How much effort or resource does it take? What are the risks? Maybe you run a quick cheap test, an A/B test on 2 form layouts, for example, to get data before committing fully.
Data-driven decision.
Ideally. Then you collectively choose the solution, or maybe a combination that offers the best balance of impact, feasibility, and risk, and make sure everyone understands why that option was chosen. Build that buy-in.
And the final step, where so many good intentions die, making it happen.
Absolutely critical. Phase 5, committing to a course of action. You turn that chosen solution into an actionable plan.
Specific tasks, owners, deadlines.
Exactly. By Friday, Alex simplifies the mobile form. Maria updates the welcome email. We track mobile conversion daily on the shared dashboard comparing to last week. Clear accountability. And then, importantly, you loop back. Check the results. Did it work? If not, maybe you reframe the problem or try a different solution. It's iterative.
Continuous learning. Okay, that structure makes sense. But in the heat of startup battle, how do you make this work efficiently? Any practical tips?
Definitely. First, prioritize carefully. You probably have 10 urgent problems. Don't just react to the loudest noise.
Use that urgency impact grid.
Yes. Plot your problems. High impact, high urgency. Tackle those first. Low impact, low urgency. Maybe they wait. Focus your limited firepower where it matters most.
And get different eyes on the problem.
Please do. Involve a cross-functional team. A designer sees things a marketer misses. Support hears things engineering doesn't. Bringing diverse perspectives leads to a fuller understanding and more creative, robust solutions. Avoid groupthink.
Big problems can feel paralyzing.
So break down big issues. If growth has stalled, that's too big. Is it an acquisition problem, marketing, a retention product, an efficiency problem, ops? Break it down, maybe using an issue tree, and tackle the pieces. Much more manageable.
And move fast. Learn fast.
Iterate quickly. Lean startup style. Treat solutions like experiments. Implement small. Measure, learn, adjust. Don't spend 6 weeks building the perfect solution only to find it doesn't work. Speed of learning is your edge.
Rely on evidence.
Follow the data. Use analytics, user testing, surveys. Let evidence guide you, not just gut feeling or the loudest opinion in the room. Data cuts through debate.
Keep the momentum up.
Set time limits. Time box each step. 30 minutes for brainstorming, 10 for deciding. It forces focus and prevents analysis paralysis, which is deadly for startups. Good enough and moving is often better than perfect installed.
Don't make the same mistake twice.
Document and learn. After you solve something, or even if you're still working on it, jot down what you did, what worked, what didn't. A quick note in a shared doc builds an internal playbook, saves time later, institutionalizes knowledge.
Visuals help too.
Often, yes. Use visuals. Sketch the problem, the proposed workflow, the customer journey. Diagrams can reveal gaps or friction points that text alone might hide. Catch issues before you build.
And check in informally.
Super important. Seek informal feedback. After a change, grab a quick virtual coffee with team members one-on-one. They might share concerns or ideas they weren't comfortable saying in a group. It builds trust and helps you spot unintended consequences early.
This structured approach sounds like it really brings order to chaos. It guides the team systematically.
It does. Think about that example Watkins uses. Signups drop 30%. Instead of panic, the team defines it. Mobile conversion impacts revenue, gathers data, correlates with new homepage, high mobile bounce, finds the root cause, confusing mobile form, brainstorms fixes, picks one, simplify form, implements it with owners,
And solves it quickly.
solves it in days, not weeks, because the structure guided them. Over time, this systematic approach becomes second nature. It saves huge amounts of time and stress and builds a team of effective problem solvers.
Okay, structured problem solving helps us tackle the challenges right in front of us.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure we're solving problems that actually get us where we want to go? We need that North Star, right?
Exactly. And that brings us to the next mobilization discipline, visioning.
Crafting that shared future.
Yeah, a startup without a clear, compelling vision. It's like that ship without a destination. It might be busy, it might be moving, but is it going anywhere meaningful?
It just drifts.
Or it goes in circles. Visioning is about defining not just where you're ultimately headed, but why it matters, and crucially, doing it together as a team.
It's more than just a mission statement on the website.
Oh, much more. It's about creating this vivid, compelling picture of the future that is both ambitious enough to inspire and grounded enough in reality to feel achievable.
Why is that grounding important?
Because a powerful vision provides direction, it gives daily work purpose, and it aligns behavior. It motivates people toward common goals by giving them the why behind the what. It turns jobs into a shared mission.
But finding that balance sounds tricky. Not too crazy, but not too boring either.
That's the tightrope walk. Watkins emphasizes avoiding two extremes. Too ambitious, too unrealistic, will cure all diseases by next year. Just demotivates people because it feels impossible.
Leads to cynicism.
Right, but too achievable, too mundane, will increase profits by 5% next quarter, fails to inspire that passion and extra effort you need to overcome big hurdles.
So how do you craft a good one? What are the key elements?
It involves things like forward-looking exercises, maybe scenario planning again, but focused on desired futures, actively engaging the whole team, using powerful, simple language so it's memorable, and then this is critical, consistently embodying the vision in your actions and decisions.
Walking the talk.
Absolutely. Your actions have to align with the vision, or it's just empty words.
So how do startups actually build this vision together? It shouldn't just come down from the founder, right?
Ideally, no. It's much
Yes.
more powerful when it's co-created. A great starting point is a vision workshop.
Get the team together.
Get the core team, maybe even key early customers or trusted mentors if appropriate. Ask big, open-ended questions. Imagine it's 5 years out, we've succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. What impact have we had? What problem did we solve? How do users feel using our product?
And capture all the ideas.
Use sticky notes, whiteboards, whatever works. Look for recurring themes. Does everyone keep mentioning empowerment, simplicity, connection, sustainability? Those themes are the heart of your vision.
Then you boil it down.
Yes, draft and refine. Take those themes and craft short, plain language, inspiring vision statements. Aim for clarity, memorability, emotion, not corporate jargon. Instead of be the leading provider of synergistic B2B solutions, maybe empower every small business to thrive online effortlessly. Share drafts, get feedback, iterate until it resonates authentically with everyone.
And the founder's personal why, should that be in there?
Absolutely. Include the founder's why. If the startup exists because of a personal passion, a problem the founder desperately wanted to solve, weave that authentic story in. It makes the vision feel more genuine, more human, more motivating. It connects emotionally.
What about investors? If you're funded, do they need to be involved?
Good point. Include investors and mentors. At least share the vision and get their feedback. They bring broader perspective, experience, and crucial external validation. Aligning expectations early avoids major friction later, ensures everyone's rowing the same way, strategically and financially.
Making the future feel real. Storytelling helps.
Hugely. Tell a future story. Turn the abstract vision statement into a short, vivid narrative. Paint a picture of a day in the life when your vision is realized.
Like we talked about earlier, the cafe owner example.
Exactly. It's morning, and small business owners worldwide are opening shop with less stress thanks to our software, or families are easily reducing waste with our kids, seeing greener neighborhoods. These stories make the future tangible and emotionally resonant.
Visuals too.
Can be very powerful. Illustrate the vision, a simple drawing, a diagram, a mood board showing that happy customer or positive impact. Visuals stick in the mind, provide a quick reminder of the goal.
Okay, so you've crafted the vision. How do you stop it from just becoming a poster? How do you make it live?
That's the most important part. Align actions. You have to constantly weave the vision into daily work, quarterly goals, big decisions. When you hit a milestone, first 1,000 users, launch in a new market, explicitly connect it back. This success moves us closer to our vision of X. Celebrate wins in the context of the vision. It keeps it alive and shows how individual contributions matter to the bigger picture.
And visions aren't set in stone, right? Startups pivot.
Exactly. Revise as needed. The market shifts, you learn, you adapt. Your vision might need to evolve too. That's okay. But update it collaboratively, share the changes transparently so everyone stays aligned on the new or refined destination. Avoid strategic drift.
Are there ongoing exercises to keep the vision fresh?
Yeah, a couple of good ones. Future headlines. Have the team write mock news headlines about your startup 3-5 years from now, celebrating a huge success. Startup XYZ transforms remote work. Then discuss what must happen next year to make that headline possible. It connects the long-term to concrete near-term steps.
I like that. What else?
A simple vision alignment check. For every significant decision, new feature, major hire, marketing campaign, just ask, does this align with our vision? Does it move us closer to our North Star? If the answer is shaky, reconsider. It ensures strategic coherence.
So by crafting it together, telling the story, aligning actions, and keeping it alive, you create that shared destination.
Everyone knows why they're putting in the effort and where it's all headed. It makes the hard work meaningful, transforms tasks into a mission, and unites the team into a powerful collective force.
Okay, we've got pattern recognition, systems thinking, mental agility, structured problem solving, and a compelling vision. It's the final discipline. This one sounds interesting. Political savvy.
Yeah, that term political can sometimes make people uneasy, right? It conjures images of manipulation or office politics in a negative sense.
Exactly. Feels a bit icky, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially for a purpose-driven startup.
But that's not really how Watkins frames it. Here, political savvy simply means understanding how people work their interests, motivations, power dynamics, and then ethically and effectively aligning them behind the company's strategic goals.
So it's about people and influence, not manipulation.
Precisely. Even in a tiny startup, influence matters. You need your co-founder's full support for a pivot. You need your lead engineer excited about a big tech change. You need investors to back a shift in strategy.
Getting everyone pulling in the same direction.
It's about effective communication, building strong, authentic relationships, and navigating those human dynamics so strategic decisions get adopted smoothly and executed with enthusiasm, not resistance or resentment. When everyone's genuinely on board, execution is just so much easier.
Okay, reframed like that, it makes a lot more sense. What are the core parts of this positive political savvy?
It starts with just accepting that organizational politics, meaning differing interests and influence dynamics, are just a natural part of any group of humans working together. You can't avoid it. You have to learn to work effectively and ethically within it.
What does that involve?
Developing effective influence strategies. Things like consultation-seeking input genuinely builds ownership. Framing your ideas so they resonate with others' interests. Understanding constructive social pressure. Building high emotional intelligence and empathy is huge. Understanding what motivates people, what worries them.
And Watkins mentioned sequencing.
Yes, sequencing strategy is key. Build momentum step by step. Secure smaller agreements before going for the big one. Don't overplay your hand. And fundamentally, it's about creating and leveraging authentic networks of relationships built on trust.
So, thoughtful, ethical engagement. How do we build this influence and alignment in a startup? Especially if the team's remote.
Integrity is the foundation. And for remote teams, communication is paramount. Stay connected remotely. You have to over-communicate strategy changes, wins, decisions, summarize things clearly in writing shared docs, Slack updates, and follow up individually quick video calls, DMs. Make sure everyone feels included and understands the context. Otherwise, distance breeds mistrust.
Know your audience, always.
Absolutely. Know your stakeholders. Map out the key people.
Yeah.
Co-founders, team members, investors, advisors, partners, key customers. What matters to them? Growth, stability, recognition, solving a specific problem. How much influence do they have? This map helps you tailor your approach.
And it all comes back to relationships.
It really does. Build genuine relationships. Take time for one-on-ones, virtual coffees, casual chats. Build trust. Ask about their goals, their concerns. If people trust you and feel heard, they're way more likely to support your ideas, even tough ones.
Like getting input before proposing something big.
Exactly. Ask, what worries you about this? Or what challenges do you see before you present your solution? People support what they help create, or at least feel they've influenced.
And framing things as a win-win.
Super powerful. Frame ideas as win-win. Explain how your plan benefits them specifically. Tailor it to the support team. Automating this frees you up for more interesting, high-impact work. To finance. This new market diversifies revenue and boosts potential bonuses. Speak their language, ROI, logic, vision, impact.
What about that sequencing idea? Like playing chess.
It's smart. Sequence your approach. Don't always drop big news on everyone at once, especially if it's controversial. Maybe get buy-in from a key respected ally first. Their support can help sway others. Just be transparent so no one feels blindsided.
Build momentum with small wins.
Yes, win small victories. Break big changes into smaller steps. Get agreement on an easy first step. Deliver a quick win. Build confidence. Each success makes the next step easier. It shows change can work.
And transparency and empathy are non-negotiable for trust.
They build that long-term trust. Be transparent and empathetic. Always explain the why, especially for tough news. We're pausing hiring because of X, and it helps us achieve our vision of Y. Acknowledge the impact on people. Honesty and empathy build massive credibility.
Checking in informally after the fact.
Crucial for reading the human system. Seek informal feedback, one-on-one chats after a change. People might share concerns they wouldn't voice publicly. It shows you care, helps you spot lingering issues, and build bridges.
And sometimes you just need patience.
Definitely. Stay patient. Influence takes time. If someone's hesitant, don't push too hard. Provide info, answer questions, respect their concerns, maybe revisit later. Gentle persistence with integrity often works where force fails.
Underlying it all, integrity.
Paramount. Keep integrity. Aim for alignment, not manipulation. Stay true to your values. A reputation for fairness, honesty, and acting in the group's best interest is your most valuable political asset. It builds goodwill, so when you really need support for a strategic move, people trust you.
So this political savvy, it really smooths the path for getting strategic things done. It fosters trust, gets people aligned, makes execution easier.
Exactly. Watkins gives that example. Planning a potentially tough change, like dropping a legacy feature. Instead of a big announcement, first talk privately to key influencers, maybe a senior engineer, a longtime support lead. Get their input, understand their concerns, maybe tweak your plan based on their feedback.
Then their buy-in helps later.
Immensely. When you present it more broadly, their subtle or open support helps build consensus. It avoids shock, addresses friction early, and makes the whole process much smoother. It's strategic alignment in action. #3. Putting it all together, practical application, why it matters.
Wow. Okay, we've gone through all slut of Michael Watkins' disciplines. Pattern recognition, systems analysis, mental agility, structured problem solving, visioning, and political savvy. It's clear they aren't just separate skills, are they?
Not at all. The real power comes when they work together synergistically. They amplify each other. True strategic thinking is the combination of all these in action.
Can you walk us through how that might look in a real startup situation?
Sure. Imagine you recognize a subtle new trend through pattern recognition, maybe how a niche audience is using TikTok differently, suggesting a new marketing channel, or even a product tweak.
Okay, you spot something.
Then, using systems analysis, you map out how pursuing this trend would impact everything else, your engineering roadmap, marketing budget, support team load, to see the ripple effects.
Got it.
Next, with mental agility, you run some quick mental simulations or scenarios. How might this play out? Best case, worst case, how might competitors react? Anticipating the game. Right. Then you use visioning to gather the team, potentially adjust your shared vision slightly to incorporate this new opportunity, and get everyone excited and aligned on the why.
Okay.
As you move forward, you use structured problem solving to tackle the inevitable operational or technical hurdles that pop up, breaking them down systematically.
Fixing the leaks.
And throughout the whole process, you use political savvy to keep everyone aligned, internal teams, investors, key partners, building consensus, and ensuring smooth execution. See how they all weave together?
Yeah, that really clarifies it. It's a whole process, not just one skill. I also like that ship metaphor. Can we revisit that quickly?
It's a great way to visualize it. Pattern recognition is spotting the storm clouds or the favorable wind shift way off on the horizon.
Seeing what's coming.
Systems analysis is knowing your ship inside out, which sails to adjust, how the rigging works, understanding how one change affects the whole vessel's balance.
Knowing how your ship works.
Mental agility is steering deftly around unexpected rocks or catching a sudden gust of wind, adapting your course quickly and skillfully.
Handling the unexpected.
Visioning is having that clear destination, that port you're sailing towards, keeping the crew motivated and focused on the goal.
Knowing where you're going.
Structured problem solving is efficiently plugging any leaks that appear, fixing issues methodically before they sink the ship.
Keeping afloat.
And political savvy is keeping the crew working together, motivated, understanding their roles, and rowing in sync towards that shared destination. Put them all together and your ship navigates much more effectively.
That really lands it. So why is mastering this whole suite of skills so critical, especially right now?
Because the world is just volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous VUCA, right? In this environment, strategic thinking capability is the key differentiator. It's what separates leaders who thrive from those who just survive, or worse.
It's becoming table stakes for leadership.
Increasingly, yes. The ability to see what's coming, set clear priorities amidst chaos, and then mobilize people for rapid, smart change It's essential for navigating tech disruption, geopolitical shifts, economic swings, everything. It's not just for the CEO anymore, it's needed at all levels.
And for startups specifically, it feels like life or death sometimes.
Often it is. Strategic thinking is the startup's compass and rudder in stormy seas. So many fail not from lack of effort, but lack of strategic direction. They chase shiny objects or get blindsided by market shifts they didn't see coming.
Strategic thinking helps avoid those pitfalls.
It helps you survey the whole horizon while steering. You spot hazards, anticipate waves, navigate towards the real opportunities. If you see a regulatory change coming or a shift in customer needs early, you can adapt before competitors do. You build the right thing for the right market at the right time. It builds resilience.
And the great thing, as Watkins stresses, is that this isn't some secret knowledge only for MBAs from elite school.
Not at all. That's a key message in the 6 disciplines of strategic thinking, a comprehensive guide for entrepreneurs, 1-hour guide. These are accessible ideas. You, the entrepreneur, the team lead, the aspiring founder, you can start applying these disciplines now.
They're learnable skills.
Absolutely learnable and honable through deliberate practice. Seek diverse experiences, learn deeply from successes and failures, find mentors, stay intensely curious. And remember, they work together. Getting better at one helps you with the others. It's a whole ecosystem for smarter leadership. #4. Action plan to implement key learning.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground exploring these 6 powerful disciplines. The theory is great, but the real value comes from putting it into practice. How do we actually start doing that tomorrow? It feels like a lot to take on at once.
That's the key point. Don't try to do it all at once. Watkins advises to start small and build habits. Pick one discipline, focus on incorporating small, regular practices related to it, and build that muscle first.
Like micro habits for strategic thinking.
Exactly. Let's map out a potential starting plan, some concrete weekly routines you could try.
Okay, let's do it. What about this week?
This week, focus consciously on pattern recognition. Maybe schedule a 10-minute team huddle specifically for this. The goal: share just one new market trend someone noticed or one surprising customer insight that doesn't fit the usual narrative. Ask, what was the most unexpected thing we saw or heard this week? Consciously look for that signal in the noise.
Okay, 10 minutes on pattern spotting, then next week.
Next week, shift to systems analysis. Pick one core process: onboarding, support ticket flow, feature development. Spend 20-30 minutes sketching it visually. Draw the flow chart. Ask, where are the bottlenecks? Where are the loops? Where are the unnecessary steps? Make the system visible.
Got it. Week 3.
Focus on mental agility. Pick one key assumption your team operates on. Users won't pay for X. Competitor Y is slow. Spend 15 minutes actively challenging it. Play devil's advocate. What if it's wrong? Or do a micro backcasting. If we hit that big goal next year, what one surprising thing had to happen? Flex those thinking muscles.
Week 4.
Try structured problem solving. Pick a small, annoying, recurring, eternal issue. Maybe meeting reports are always late or customers keep asking the same question. For 30 minutes, apply the 5 steps. Frame it specifically, brainstorm fixes, quickly decide on one, assign an owner and deadline for one action step. Practice the structure on something low stakes. Practice visioning. Schedule a short 15-minute session. Don't just review the vision statement. Do the future headlines exercise. Everyone writes a mock headline from 3 to 5 years out. Then briefly discuss, what milestone do we need to hit in the next 6 months to move towards that headline? Connect the long term to the near term.
And week 6.
Focus on political savvy. Pick a small, non-urgent idea that needs buy-in from just one other person. Before you talk to them, spend 10 minutes thinking only about their perspective, their interests. How can you frame your idea as a clear win for them? Practice tailoring your message. Reflect afterward on how it went.
So cycle through them, building small habits week by week.
Exactly. And ongoing, start integrating them more regularly, maybe rotate focus each week, or add a standing item to team meetings, any new patterns spotted, any small problem solved structurally. Keep the disciplines alive.
Think of them as training wheels.
Perfect analogy. Practice consciously now with these micro habits, and eventually they become more automatic, more intuitive parts of how you think and lead.
And those small gains add up, right?
They compound hugely over time. More consistent strategic thinking leads to smarter decisions, faster growth, fewer crises. Use the source material, like the 6 disciplines of strategic thinking. A comprehensive guide for entrepreneurs, 1-hour guide as a living reference. Revisit it. Adapt the exercises as you grow.
It comes down to taking time to work on the business, not just in it.
That's the heart of it. It feels hard to pause the daily grind to think strategically, But carving out even a few minutes each week for these practices pays enormous dividends. It ensures you're building the right thing, heading in the right direction.
So by taking these concrete steps, practicing consistently,
Your startup navigates more confidently, your team rallies around clearer goals, your business moves steadily towards the future you envision. Strategic thinking might sound grand, but it starts with these simple, actionable habits.
it's how you turn luck into preparation and potential into reality.
Well said.
Thank you for joining us today. Buy the book at the 1 Hour Guide website for more business insights.